Your glow up, bro, sis, isn't about aesthetics. It's about your peace. You feel me? Like that's what your globe is about. Your globe is about building yourself into the version of yourself that is at peace. Straight up. Living through chaos for so long, normalizing it. We talking about household growing up. We talking about work. We talking about everything. Like your glow up is you normalizing your peace, you building your peace. You know what I'm saying? Especially after being in a relationship with a narcissist. You know, they gotta wear and tear and beat you down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? They do that for a long time. And they'll plot it really well. You know what I'm saying? They'll start the plot, you know what I'm saying, really, really well at the beginning. And you just don't notice it. You know what I'm saying? After a while, it just wears and tears on your confidence about everything. Like you can't be confident about shit. You know what I'm saying? After dealing with the narcissist, like straight up, because you've had to chase their validation. You know what I'm saying? You've had to chase their insight, their input, their wild and crazy, zany, whimsical mindset, thoughts. You know, believe they're the empath. You know, twist and turn everything and dress things up and just gaslight you and look at you disturbed to be like, how dare you hold me accountable for this damage that I've done? How dare you? Everybody else lets me get away with it. It's just, oh man, it's so wild to think about it. And over time, it just erodes your mindset. You know what I'm saying? It just weakens how you think about life, to be for real. You know, you don't have a desire to do anything besides survive this nonsense and continue to make it normal, because this is, again, you're battling who you knew they were versus who they are now. And you're trying to be loyal because you've been, you know what I'm saying, indoctrinated into waiting for them to say how high, jump how high. You just can't trust yourself anymore. You can't trust yourself about anything. You go through the narcissist about all the decisions you make. That's how they want you to do. They want you to go through all the decisions to be made. They don't want you to have any kind of autonomous behavior. They don't want you to have an identity. That's why they shame you into a version of you that you're not comfortable with. That's not normal for you. You know, and they know that you know that it makes you feel some kind of way, so they get bothered by you showing that that you feel some kind of way. That's why that's when they start to find other supplies in the process, and then triangulate you with them, because you didn't do it the way that they do it. They do it naturally. They do the chaos naturally. You don't. You always got a problem with the chaos. That's why I don't like doing it with you. Man, that's how they talk to you, straight up. They talk to you just like that. They talk to you as if, again, your emotion means nothing. Your how you feel, how you think about it, none of that means nothing. It's how you act is how they're going to take that currency. You feel what I'm saying? Period. If you're not acting in that role, they are going to punish you and make you feel some kind of way. This is what I'm saying. When you go through all of this so much, so often, and doing it every single day, you're doing 1% damage to yourself every single day. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the accepting the chaos, putting it into yourself. That's why it's so rough to find your identity again, to find confidence again in so many things going forward, because you've pumped yourself up with enough toxicity. Straight up, the narcissist is giving you shots of it, giving me shots of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, like they want you to be completely codependent on them. Your confidence, how you think about anything else, will always be a problem if you didn't do it the way that they told you to. You know what I'm saying? I'm only saying all this just so that you can understand more of how much getting you to think a way that will never be conducive for you going forward, that will always hinder you going forward after they discard you. You know what I'm saying? Some of us may have discarded them, but going through that process, you know what I'm saying, after all of that, getting your mindset back in the gear of self. You feel what I'm saying? Getting to that glow up you. That glow up you is the peace inside. You know what I'm saying? The peace that you want to give yourself, the version of you that validates you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the validation of the narcissist. You don't need the validation of anybody. You just gotta give yourself that peace, bro, sis. You feel me? That's why when you start to do that, when you start to unshackle your mind from that inner voice of what they think, unshackle your mind, that inner voice of how they feel about you, unshackle your mind of you being scared of yourself, and getting the discipline to be consistent with being scared but also trying. That's how you start to trust yourself. And it's a 1% deposit into yourself every single day. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to be consistent with it. You know, no matter how fragile the left foot, right foot, you know, as you march forward may be, you still got to be consistent with it. You know, and you actually start in the glow up phase because you already know, you know, I need to do work on myself. You know, I've been too dependent on the validation of an individual who does not care about my well-being. You feel what I'm saying? Understanding that concept too. You know, it's not about being jaded either. I want that to be understood. It's not about being jaded. You're just starting to have more awareness about emotional intelligence. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you value how you feel. You value how you think. You value how you view things. You value your perspective on things. You know what I'm saying? At first, dealing with narcissists, again, your confidence get beat down because your only value is what you think the narcissist is telling you that it is. Straight up. And you sit in that kind of, you know, world for so long. When it's time to be you again, you know, it's fragile because you got to build it. You got to build your world, and you got to be confident about how you build your world, and also not let people who now you've become aware of how people can be come into that world and poison it any further. Period. Straight up. Your glow up is in the peace that you give yourself. I just gotta say that again. It's in the peace that you give yourself. Straight up. Like, your entire mindset is you're being unbothered. You're not bothered by that version of you anymore. You're not bothered by the narcissist's thoughts of you. You're not bothered by how the narcissist still talks to you currently. You know what I'm saying? You're not bothered and or triggered. You're in a motion of glowing up. You're in a motion of your unbothered season. Not being worried about how somebody feels about you. How somebody listen to me, and what I'm listen to me well. Most people that takes the time to say something about you don't even have the result and or care about how they feel about themselves. They got to project upon you. So what I'm saying is, the mindset is everything does not need a reaction. I know that's probably tough for a lot of people. I got it. But you got to get in a process to where the narcissist thrives off your reactions. That's why it bothers your confidence so much, because you're reacting to get something out of the narcissist as well, which is a negative reaction. You know what I'm saying? That's how they indoctrinate you and teach you the trauma bond. And you continue to argue and argue and argue and argue and do this outrageous moment and do this outrageous moment. Then the narcissist says they're sorry. And then you come back and then you gotta try it again. And then you do it again and do it again and do it again. And it keeps blowing up and it keeps doing that same cycle, bonding even more. Messing up your mindset, you know what I'm saying? Messing up your how you bond with people going forward, how you view other people going forward, how you view things, what you do with yourself. I just don't lose your confidence by dealing with toxicity when you have a choice not to. That's what I'm emphasizing. Straight up. Don't deal with unnecessary toxicity. It's a lot of toxic things dealing with narcissists is not that deep, and or you already know how they're going to be. This is how you become unbothered, because you know how they're going to be. What you have to do is understand who you are and how true you are to you. Again, you can't sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You feel what I'm saying? Like I know it's like cliche, but it's real though. Everything does not need your reaction. You respond by not giving it energy. Unbothered. I know she gonna say that. I know he gonna say that. So why say anything? I know it's simple and it's hard to do, but you have to get to that point, because you cannot continue to react. That affects you and how you feel about yourself, and it builds the habit of now you have to react to every other single thing that people may not necessarily be giving you that kind of energy. The narcissist is teaching you to be like them, you know what I'm saying, type ordeal. Like I just want to like give it to you like that. Your habits that you build for yourself, you got to be disciplined about it, bro, sis. You got to. You got to stack those W's. The W's that you stack on yourself as you work on yourself, that's going to give you the confirmation and the mental confirmation that you can trust yourself. And it's the small W's. It's the small victories every single day. Straight up. When you get triggered by the narcissist, when they say something, if you gotta do kid exchange, whatever the case, man, when you get triggered by a narcissist, you know what you gotta do? You gotta woosah. You know what I'm saying? You gotta woosah. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, but for real, you got to, you know, Marcus, Bad Boys, Mark Lawrence. But no, you gotta learn how to like relax. Do you really need to get amped up like them? Do you really need to give them that energy and still show them that they still have control over you? You see what I'm saying? You got to pull back your power, and you got to be consistent with it and be disciplined with it and continue to do it and display because a narcissist can only perceive, you know what I'm saying, i.e. see what you do. You got to display that your power is important to you by not reacting to the goofiness, the buffoonery. Straight up. Being disciplined, writing down your journal, itemizing your thoughts about yourself, about life. You know what I'm saying? Eating those right meals, eating the right breakfast, eating eggs, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever breakfast, whatever, because I know somebody was like, I don't like eggs. Whatever protein, listen, eating protein with every single meal, drinking water, like making these choices, these W's, these small victories stack up. That's building your confidence over time. You feel what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to do this process on you around the narcissist. But if you got to be around a narcissist for whatever the case may have, you need to be able to understand that's how they're going to be, and this is how you got to be. Straight up. You got to. You got to be able to not let it trigger you. You know, everything that's not required. I promise you, it's so many situations where I even look back where it could never have been that far. Just respond, bro. Just respond, bro, sis. Just respond. Just respond. The narcissist will perceive that you don't mess with them like that. They will see and notice that energy. They will see and notice the glow up in your peace of mind. They will see and notice how much you value who you are and what you have to offer. You feel what I'm saying? They will see that over time. They get bothered by that. They get bothered when you start to notice why they noticed you to begin with for yourself. And you rather give that to somebody who's going to be reciprocated of that versus somebody who's not, just for the thrill of, because it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Because we're a high school sweethearts or whatever the case may have you. Like, you know how narcissists, and it may not necessarily have to be a relationship wise. It's just they'll pull you in with something to lower your guard, to try to get you back in that indoctrination, that way they're thinking. No. Your glow up is peace. You don't need toxicity in your life. You don't need to be battling and creating demons in your head you got to deal with for the rest of your life because you're worried about how narcissists feel about you, because they blew up in insecurity. No. Let that shit go, bro, sis. Let all that go. Don't let an identity that you do not claim be your truth. Straight up. Especially from a narcissistic individual. Especially if you have the autonomous awareness to control yourself and make better choices. And have a glow up about your peace. Straight up. Not letting things affect that, but only let things enhance it. You feel what I'm saying? Becoming aware of what can enhance my peace rather than drain it. Straight up. Like, the narcissist will forever be chaotic. Always. You've lived through that chaos with them, dealing with that chaos with them. Now create your own peace. Yes, creating your peace is gonna be scary. And what does that look like? What does that look like is 1% a day doing something for self. It's depositing. You feel what I'm saying? Choosing not to respond to goofy behavior. Everything does not need a reaction. Everything does not need a response either, man. You can just go the other way. The narcissist is yelling. All right, turn my back. I'm gonna go do something else. It's for real. Like it's so simple. You always got a choice. You always got a choice. You choose these things for yourself every single day. Straight up. Your glow up happens as you do the work. Your glow up happens as you do the 1% into yourself every single day. Your glow up will bother the narcissist. The narcissist, yes, will try to affect your glow up. Yes, they're going to try to. They're going to try to shame you some way, somehow. They're going to find something, you know what I'm saying, to shame you about something goofy and throw you off track. Quit letting them throw you off track. Quit letting them make you feel like, why they always on me about something? Quit letting them throw you off track. Stop letting them throw you off track. Stop letting them affect your confidence. Stop letting people who aren't confident affect your confidence. Straight up, bro, sis. I mean this from the bottom of my heart, because you got to take yourself serious. You got to be enthusiastic about you. You got to be enthusiastic about your well-being and your being while you're here with this time that you're allotted to. You feel me? Wasting any more time dealing with these kind of people is insanity, trying to figure out a new outcome when the outcome is this is who they're going to be. Now that you know this is who they're going to be, control yourself and have the discipline to move forward and grow and seek peace and personal growth without the constant distractions and disruptions of dealing with somebody who's going to make you feel less than. I'm so serious. To sit there and deal with somebody who's going to make you feel less than. No, this is your unbothered season. This is your growth season. This is your new version of yourself, the new identity of yourself that you've given yourself, because you know that deep down inside, this is who you've always been trying to get into. You've just been distracted by individuals like this in life who saw this about you but wanted to dim it before you became aware of it. Straight up. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So serious. A lot of people will see that you are who you already know that you are, but try to dim it before you even aware of it. And a narcissist in a relationship is just like that, straight up. So I hope this message finds you well. I'm Fonzie Murph, and I'm out. Peace.